Right. Hello, everyone. My name's Caleb Vanderswa, and I'm the cello teacher and head of strings at the Conservatory of Music at SUNY Purchase. We're so excited to be having this time here with Karen Ouzounian. Karen's a wonderful cellist and composer who is a member of Silk Road Ensemble, member of the Knights, a founding member of the Izuri Quartet, in addition to all of her other work as a soloist and a composer. And so it's so exciting to be able to play her music with and to work on her music and to have her here with us today. Joining us, Laura Mead, who's a sophomore at SUNY Purchase. She's going to be playing for Karen. So I think the way it's going to work is Karen's going to just introduce her piece, play a few examples, and talk some about it, and then we'll jump into the masterclass portion, and we'll take it from there. So thank you so much, and thanks, Karen. Welcome.
Thank you, and hi everyone. Caleb, thanks for your intro, and thank you to everyone who's learning this music, to the Cello Teaching Repertoire Consortium for inviting me to be a part of this project this year. So I just wanted to share a couple brief words about the piece, Songs of the Sap. So this is a piece in two movements that is all about my imagining where my family came from. So it's imagining and reaching for this land called Anatolia, which is in present-day Turkey. It was historically where a lot of Armenians were from, where my grandparents and great-grandparents were from. So they were from various cities in today what is central and southern Turkey. My family, they ended up in Lebanon after the genocide, and that's where they started reviving their language, their music, their culture. So my parents and their parents never went back to where they were originally from. It's sort of this, I don't know what to say, almost like a place that no longer exists in a real sense for us, but it is the land where we're from, and I wanted to channel the music that was shared by all the people who lived on that land and shared that land. So the first movement is inspired by a folk dance called the Tamzara, and I wanted to play for all of you an example of a Tamzara played on traditional folk instruments called the zurna, which is this really loud double reed instrument, and the davul, which is this loud two-sided drum. So davul zurna is a really, really typical traditional folk sound for Armenian music. So I'm gonna play this first recording, and this is a field recording of Armenians who immigrated to America, to the US in the 1890s, and this recording was made in 1940 in Fresno, California.
Fresno, California, August 17, 1940. Նվագողները Հովսեփ եւ Բաղդասար Պետրոսյան։ Պիտի նվագեն Թամզարան։
Yeah, so you can hear, and I love the introduction at the beginning too, because that's the same dialect that my family speaks, Western Armenian, which was revived in our case in Lebanon. But you hear this so that would be like maybe danced in a circle, and with two stomps on that last beat of the bar. Stomp, stomp. One, yeah. And so this first movement, again, it's just like a ghost, like that dance is there in sort of a ghost form. So it's not really trying to be the real thing, but it is really pulling from it and traces of it. The second movement is inspired by the Jurjuna, which is a very popular uzul, or a rhythmic mode in Anatolian music. In Arabic music, it's also called, it's a similar sounding name. It looks like kurkuna, but it's pronounced Jurjuna. And this is a 10-8 rhythm that is structured like a palindrome. So 3 plus 2, 2 plus 3. And I'm just going to say the rhythm quickly. So it's dum ka ta dum ta ka dum ka ta dum ta ka dum ka ta dum ta ka dum ka ta dum ta ka. So the dooms are where the strong beats are. So it divides that bar in half. So dum ka ta dum ta ka ta dum ka ta dum ta ka ta dum. And I wanted to play for you an example of a jurjuna that was popular in America so Armenians who immigrated to America over generations, they really started carrying this rhythm with them, and these bands started cropping up around the States called kef time bands. Kef means celebration or party. And so this 10-8 rhythm was in a lot of the music. So I just want to play a little bit of that. There's this essay that I think will be shared around with everyone. Ara Dinkjan, who is a renowned Armenian-American oud player, wrote an essay, a beautiful essay about the Jurjuna, because it was really popular in Diyarbakir in southeastern Anatolia, which was where his father was from. And he had this line saying, like, anyone who you meet who's from there, their heart probably beats in 10-8. So I've just been really inspired by these dances and these rhythms so much. So this is just playing this piece is just playing with that and reaching for it from a distance. There's always the element of something that we can't totally hold on to, that's not tangible, that is from afar. So that's what I want to say about the piece, and maybe we can start and jump in with Laura. Hey, bravo! Sorry for the. I couldn't quite unmute myself. That was fantastic. Wow, thank you so much, Laura. My gosh, it's really exciting to hear you play it, and you're doing such a great job. So bravo and thank you. Um, yeah, wow, this is so cool. Maybe we can work backwards. Start with the Giorgiona since we're in the second movement. Um, so yeah, I would. One of the ideas behind the whole opening and kind of the way it's built is that there is a groove that's almost like the band, and then there are these quick kind of soloistic, like you're taking a solo, like moments where you're breaking out and then settling back in. And I could hear you doing that, and I would just encourage you to keep going in that direction in the whole opening, like the way it's set up. I'm just gonna demo a little bit if that's okay. So the other kind of big kind of concept that I would suggest is allow things to be more snappy and tossed. Okay, so that the threes and twos can just kind of, you can toss them a little more rapidly. Do you want to just try just looping those two bars a little bit? So. So I'm getting used to like really throwing my left hand on those and kind of accenting the beginnings of the bow changes. And to add a little bit more detail as well, you know how we talked about the palindrome of the bar? So I kind of try to give a little bit more on those, on the big beats, on the first down bow, on basically the beat 1 and then beat 6 in the bar. So I'm gonna try just the opening there. Nice. That's great. Yeah, that's absolutely what I meant. And then just a quick word about the microtones because I'm using them in both movements. I think just developing, so it's interesting, like in this style of music and from this region, those microtones are not exactly fixed. It's not like they're totally like in the dead center, you know, between in the middle of the semitone, but I find that it is helpful to use that as a starting point and develop your own ear, kind of like your own appetite, so that you're consistently going for that shade that you respond to. So I'm really trying to develop my own ear to keep hearing it in the same place always. I'm gonna give that a shot. So if you take your open, the D harmonic and the F above, if you can kind of just divide that interval between the D and F perfectly in the middle. So that the F and D, the fifth and the third are always there, and that first finger is just dividing right in half. So Laura, I think for you, I would nudge that first finger a little sharp, a little higher. Yeah, so that it's not too much like a beautiful E flat, you know? That it's this, yeah, just a little higher, yeah. the feeling of the downbeat of just one bar. So it's like one bar circles. And it's like the easiest thing in the world. Like that's the vibe. I think again, like a little sharper on that first finger. Yeah, and I think this is also just something to like kind of meditate slowly with. Yeah. Like, just like really taking your time, because it's like a totally new pitch, to like develop that relationship with. So like you can do that, I think just with in your own time. And when you get to the first like solo break, so in measure 49, just kind of feel like you're bursting out, and like just owning the stage in that moment. Settling back in. You can like immediately push your contact point towards the bridge in your bow. I almost don't even care if it's the right number of semitones in the end of the bar. It's just about kind of tossing really and letting go of of both hands. So both hands having a very tossed approach. So like that quickness of and then so like one impulse, one shake, and then let notes like really just fly out as easily as possible. Okay. Do you want to just go right on that bar? Yeah, and with both hands, just like a kind of throwing and tossing thing. Awesome. Yeah, that's totally the style. That's great. Going onwards, so again, keeping within that circle, that one bar groove, so everything is just kind of, you're tossing it so that you're just landing in big beats where you're like, you've established it in your kind of gut and like in the listener's like rhythmic gut, if that makes sense, and then this time, so we have a little variation in the groove. There. And here, dive into the solo right away with the 16th notes. And I would actually kind of stay in the string. to that, where those accents like fall in your body, but you don't need to lift the bow out of the string or anything. Like, you don't need to do anything extra. It's all about like swinging, you know, and like swinging into the instrument. You want to just try right on that solo break? So nice. Yeah. That's the idea. So you can let go of things that are not the accents. So and of course, you know, build this slowly, but with a slow swing, like with the slow tossing. So like, again, I'm still looking for that ease where I'm giving like an impulse on a group of 3 or a group of 2, and everything else is just tossed out, even in slow motion. And you can slowly build that up. Do you want to just try like in a medium? Again, just kind of lead with the swing, lead with the big accents, and let go of things in between. Nice. And I did something a little tricky, and there is a group of 3 beats that straddles these 2 bars, right? Like from the C with the accent at the end of bar 55 into the next B flat. I just think of 3, you know? So, I mean, my brain, it's just going 3, 2, 2, you know, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2. Like, it's just doing that. So 3, 2, and then 2s. 3, 2, 2, 2, 3. Yeah. So after that, oh, sorry. Here too, stay in the string. We don't need to lift and stop the bow at any point here. Okay, so then we get to like the first big kind of 7/8 kind of B material of this movement. And this is all about kind of, well, first of all, the harmonies are, it's all coming back from the first movement, from those 3 4s. So having a sense of warmth and just contact in the string, falling into the cello as much as you can, and again, like applying that tossed falling technique. So those, notes like that. Or down. So staying in the string, and you're just throwing your weight around in these groups of 2 and 3. Do you want to just try right on the 7/8 ones? Yeah. Yes, I would just say you can foreground bigger beats and let go of and lighten up within the bigger things. So I'm actually giving a little bit more, like in that 10/8 in bar 65, I'm giving a little bit more at the beginning of the bar and on the second half of the bar, like the 2 down bows. So the up bows are really rebounds of the down bows. Same again in that next 10/8. Here too, all the up bows are like rebounds off the down bows when we get to 71. So do you want to just try right there, right on 71? Yeah, and just throw yourself and your whole arm, your whole, like literally your whole body into those down bows and feel the physical rebound of the, swinging back on the up bows. So yes, and after the first, so these are now all quarters on the down bows. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Can you look for that swing now? Yeah, yes, that's absolutely the idea. And I would say just keep going, like do it, try singing it and doing it even like away from your instrument. So you're going, so you're just getting used to this. and then it's like, and then it can just feel very easy when you then put it into the instrument. So same ideas now. Now we're getting a little more like weird and funky with these groove and solo break alternations. So I would really kind of like ham it up more when it's a solo break moment here, and play very chill when it's just groove. So and then similarly here, bar 77, as before. Remember how we now started keeping our bow just in the string? Same here. So you're just throwing it and letting it sit in the string. So, and and I would practice it slowly again. So. And ghost the non-accented smaller notes so that they're really thrown. I want to like just make sure I cover like keep going. So is it okay if I keep pushing forward, plowing forward? Yeah. Okay, so again, solo breaks here. So that E quarter flat, I love it. And this is drawn from the first movement as well. So again, like really developing that appetite for that E. Again, I'm tossing all the little notes. So we have in this next build up, see how I'm just kind of easily letting go into the swing of things. And you know, I would kind of stay in the string and sing out on that high D when you get to. So yeah, just that easy swing through. And then here, when we get to 92, subito pianissimo, this is like the last big build of the movement. And I kind of imagine these G open strings almost like they're played on a flute, like a very hollow flute sound. And I would just keep the pianissimo a little longer. There are a lot of open strings and harmonics, so it's gonna sound pretty resonant, so I would just like hold back a little longer, and then like halfway through maybe start turning it up. Again, go for the down bows, find the rebounds on fast notes and up bows. And that sounded fantastic in your performance. When you get to 109, so this is kind of like the peak climax of it, and I would just say look for as much of the open G's and D's that you can pull out in this passage. So like when you get to the second down bow in these bars, the most important thing is the open strings, the open G and D, and just, you know, throw the left hand around on those harmonics. Do you want to just try that for a second? Yes, that's absolutely right. Like that's absolutely what I meant. So I'm kind of like physically playing as big as I possibly can with my whole arm, with my whole body here. So if some of the 16th notes aren't like perfectly sounding, that's okay. But I would go for as much double stop and sound with those open strings as you can. So that open A initially, the open D here, the open G, you know, like when you lift off, it's like try to gather even more energy each time to warrant the bigger rest. Yeah. Yeah, do you want to try it?
Sure.
Yes, it's like a paintbrush, like you're, you know, like live through the stroke all the way until the end. And then there is an emotional change where suddenly we're like in the present, we're here, we're, you know, where you are. You're not in that distant land right now. It's now you. And that thread through that slower section so that we really keep that kind of pulse going, like a time that's ticking. Sorry. You experience this fermata in your way, and then it's just the final. Yeah. Could we quickly jump to the first movement and just talk about a few things? Okay, yes. Kind of similar thoughts here about feeling, one thing I wanted to mention was I thought dotted rhythms or quick notes could feel quicker or like snappier, I would say. And I would really play those A quarter flats, again, like develop that taste for... Okay, so the first bar is the most direct kind of tamzara rhythm, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's the, but then we already start diverging and getting a little filtered and strange as we go. But another thing, so see there, it's a little snappier, my dotted 8th note with the 16th. And this is one gesture, so again, it's about finding your impulses and your rebounds. That's like my whole approach to music and cello and this music. Down. So actually, if you do that, you can help, the music can breathe. There is an elasticity to it. So in this movement, it doesn't ever need to feel like, oh my God, I have to be in time, you know? Do you want to just try some of that opening phrase? I would nudge that A quarter flat a little higher, so that it's not too much like like a regular A flat, versus the first C can be within the down bow. So next phrase. Now phrase 2. So we're looking for this swing internally. We're letting things fall out. So I'm allowing myself to breathe, you know, so and then kind of one thing, like whenever you have or at the very end of the section, like you're not anticipating the fermata or the harmonics, but these are things that take us out and create that sense of filtering and distance. Like these like shimmering harmonics are about, oh, this place is out of my reach. It's not quite tangible. We're not really dancing a tamzara in Anatolia, right? It's living in the imagination. When we get to the pizzas, I would very much love to keep that same quarter beat as what you've been living in thus far. So you can allow a moment to breathe here, but now more sung and more horizontal in the approach. Yeah, so that if you get to play it with a second instrument, and I imagine this could be a cello, it could be a viola, it could be a violin, so that they can really fit within this 1, 2, 3. And those are also very tossed and like this crackling, passionate but distant messenger. Yeah. So I would say like really spend time developing your kind of connection to the microtones. You know, just like where they feel beautiful to you, and just like keep developing that appetite for them. And I think that it's like a whole universe actually that like opens up with those microtones, and allow yourself find the moments to breathe, but also allow things to roll, you know, within bigger beats. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Karen. This has been so great. And thank you for the beautiful piece and for all of it's so great to hear you demonstrate and talk about it. So this is really valuable. So
Thanks.
thank you. And thank you, Laura, for your playing, and thanks, Zoe, for all of your help getting us set up today. So,
I know I'm sorry, I just saw that we're at the hour, but do you guys have any questions? Zoe, I'm sorry that we've just been going, but do you have questions as well? Yeah, both Laura and Zoe. Um,
No, that's just fine. I learned a lot. But I guess I do have a question about in the first movement.
yeah.
Like for measure 11, are you trying to, like when you're using your bow on the harmonics, are you really like pushing into that, or are you kind of, like how are you trying to interpret that, I guess?
Yeah, so I'm kind of trying to think very like a butterfly on that gesture. So can I play the phrase? So I'm gonna play that last 4-bar phrase. This is from bar 9. catch ourselves then on that fermata. Yeah. Does that
Yeah, that answers my question. Thank
answer your
you.
question? Yeah. I just to clarify, because I think I take some freedom, like in bar two, before the last of the bar, the last dotted quarter with the grace notes. I just want to kind of say that out loud that that's a moment where I find some elasticity for myself in this music. So between bars a hair. I exaggerated it a little bit, but just to share a little bit of that with you guys. Yeah. Any other questions?
I feel like I have questions, but like I don't know if I should like get into all of that right now. But like, and I will have more questions probably. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, feel free to, and this is for you, Laura, and for anyone. Like, please, like, email me, write me, send me a voice memo. Like, I'm very happy to be in touch and work on stuff together. So, anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Thanks so much. Thank you for doing this.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and thank you guys for organizing and for playing and for working on the music. It like I can't tell you how much it means to me. It's very, very moving to hear you and to share this. It just feels really, really special and meaningful for me. So thank you.